Well, hello, my wonderful brothers of the Maverick Nation, and welcome to the next What If that I will be doing, the third one that I was talking about. What if Izuku Midoriya was Sailor Saturn? And I'm gonna be honest with you, guys. There was a previous version that I did of this, and I accidentally erased it, and so I am not in the best of moods right now. But, hey, it's Christmas. Gotta spread around that cheer. So, yeah. Now, I'm gonna do a little bit of a different version of what I did before. The other one. The one that you guys would have gotten. But this one is gonna be the new one, so, yeah, deal with those apples. Anyways, this is part one of what if Izuku Midoriya was Sailor Saturn, seeing as she's my favorite Sailor Scout. And, yeah, like a boss. Anyways, this whole thing would start out with, you know, Izuku, the whole thing, being considered quirkless, and, he would still be like, I could still become a hero, even if I don't have a quirk. He would want to prove everybody wrong, He would want to prove that he could be a hero even without a quirk. And as for his father, he's doing work overseas, and, Inko is having her own problems. But Izuku, one night, you know, this is basically, it's been a while, and, it's graduation day, so Izuku's like 15. Basically, all of a sudden, it's graduation day, and at the end of graduation day, basically the teacher just lifts up like the hands, like in canon, and it's like, I know you all want to be heroes and everything. And, the two people that apply are still Kacchan and, Izuku. And Bakugo's just like, you're just gonna put me with a bunch of D-listers? No way. And, Izuku's just like, really? This is pointless. And, being basically graduation day is the same day as the sludge villain attack. Izuku does take that shortcut, but something surprises him whenever, like, the sludge villain goes to jump out and attack him. Some sort of influence of light, like, causes the sludge villain to, like a squirm away, like some sort of light. It, like, rocketed into the tunnel and into Izuku's hand, and all of a sudden, there's just this large amount of light, and it just blinded the sludge villain. And so, the sludge villain would go off to, Bakugo, the next best bet. And, All Might would be like, where is he? He would, like, have no idea where sludge villain is. Because of the whole light thing. And Izuku would be like, this strange. Basically, it'd be like the Sailor Scout seeds, like the seeds that give them the power thing. He would basically just see one in his hand, but he wouldn't know that it's actually the Sailor Scout seed thing. The hell? Hey, Dad. Thanks. Thanks, Dad. Anyways, you know, Izuku wouldn't really know what to do about the whole seed thing. He really wouldn't really know what it was. Until all of a sudden, inside of his mind, he would just be hearing someone be like, I see. And then Izuku would be like, what? Whoa, I'm inside my head and there's another me? And the other Izuku would just be like, yes, I am represented by the Sailor Scout seed that you have. And Izuku's like, Sailor Scout seed? And the other Izuku would just be like, yes, it holds the power of Sailor Saturn. If with that seed, you will become Sailor Saturn. You will have those powers. Powers of silence. Powers of destruction. You know, the whole silence and the whole destruction thing. And Izuku would just be like, silence and destruction? Saturn? And basically, like the other Izuku would explain, yes, the Saturn crystal with the Saturn seed. I represent the Saturn crystal. Now all you need to do is embrace the Saturn seed, and the two powers will be fused together, and you will be able to turn into Japan's one and only Sailor Saturn, a true hero. And basically, this is during the whole ordeal with Bakugo and the sludge villain, and Izuku's like, well, that would be great, but the thing is, I don't have a hero license, so if I tried to do something like that, I sure would be arrested. And the Izuku inside of his mind is basically like, don't think about that. Think about what it means to be a hero. Your idol. He's always wearing a smile on his face every time he goes to do hero work. Always has that big, goofy grin on his face. What do you think all of this work means to him? And what does it mean to you? Which one do you think is more important? And that answer is what will mold who you are as a person into the hero you will become. And Izuku was just like, well, I honestly want to become a hero, but I'm quirkless, and, well, do you really think, like, a school like UA would accept me? I mean, I only really signed up because I wanted to prove Kachan wrong. I wanted to show that I could become a hero too. But now that I think about it, I don't have a quirk like everyone else. And it's just, I'm too weak. And then the other Izuku was just like, wrong again. With these powers, the Saturn Crystal and the Saturn Seed, you will never have to feel that way about yourself again. If you just accept Sailor Scout of Saturn, the Silence Glaive, come to you. And Izuku's just like, well, if that's really all I need to do, if that's really what it takes, then show me the crystal, And, the Izuku inside of Izuku is just like, right here, pal. And Izuku's just like, well then, Saturn Crystal can join with the Sailor Scout of Saturn's Sailor Seed. And then they basically can join those powers together. And then all of a sudden Izuku's like, whoa, what's this feeling? My body. And then the Izuku inside of Izuku is just like, this is the power that you will know from now on. This is how you'll become a true hero. And Izuku was just like, whoa, this power, I feel. And then all of a sudden, like the freaking, like, if you guys know what I mean, like OG Sailor Moon S, and Sailor Moon Crystal, like if there's any other Sailor Moon series that I'm forgetting, sorry. But like, you know what I mean. Like, all of a sudden the OG Sailor Moon series, like Sailor Saturn theme, starts to play, like whenever all the light like comes out of nowhere, and we just see like this boy version of Sailor Saturn's like getup. Like, what I'm trying to say is like the the what do you call it? Uh what's it called? Skirt. Yeah, the skirt. The skirts that all of them wear. Basically, the skirt would have more of like the Shihakusho bottom design instead of like a random like Sailor Scout like design. I'm not saying like the same colors and everything, just the design of it would be different. It would be more like a Shinigami Shihakusho design than the normal Sailor Scout skirt design. It would be more Shinigami Shihakusho design. But it would be a little bit shorter to like kind of like match the size of the normal Sailor Scouts, but the overall design would be more Shinigami Sailor, like Shinigami, like Shihakusho, bottoms. The design would more Shinigami Shihakusho bottom, but the colors would be more like a Sailor Moon standard. Like the whole color of it. Like basically all the colors of Sailor Saturn's like normal wear would stay the same. It's just like the design would be different because Izuku's a guy and all of the like original Sailor Scouts were like the OG Sailor Scouts were women, but Izuku is a guy. So yeah, there would have to be some changes made. And like I said, instead of like a normal skirt, it would be like a Shihakusho design, but like it would be like smaller as to fit like the skirt size, but the overall design would be more Shihakusho based. But the colors, like all of the colors would still stay the same. It's just the design would be different. And when considering any of like the tiaras and stuff and like braids for like hair, like kind of like how Sailor Moon and I think Sailor Venus have I think they have braids in their hair. I don't know. I'm not really all that familiar. I sorta am, sorta ain't. But all of the more female oriented stuff would kinda not be with Izuku because Izuku's a guy. So it would be like Sailor Saturn's normal wear. It would just be less feminine in style. And so whenever all the light cleared and they could just see Izuku in that design, in that whole getup, and even the Silence Glaive would be there. Like Izuku would just have his hand, and because he would feel this energy, and all of a sudden in his hand, like formed out of nowhere, would be the freaking glaive, and basically like inside of his own head, like the original, like not really the original, but the other Izuku would basically tell him it's the Silence Glaive, and Izuku would be like, the Silence Glaive, the weapon of Sailor Saturn, my weapon. And I'm not gonna do the thing that the writers slash like creators of the anime like did with the Sailor Saturn and have her be like so OP that like she can't use her powers or else like everything will be destroyed. So basically, and they even had the thing where like the other outer Sailor Scouts like Uranus, freaking Neptune, and Pluto, all those Sailor Scouts, like they would say that they were the freaking Sailor Scouts, and they would basically completely forget to mention Sailor Scout Saturn, either that or they just felt like really being a bunch of biatches to freaking Saturn, and I don't understand why. I mean, come on, even if she didn't show up, that she probably had a pretty good reason why she didn't show up for that. And if you're gonna be a bunch of biatches just because she didn't show up, I mean, what the hell? I mean, no one can have like a late day. Like even the Shinigamis, like whenever someone had a late day, they at least they still mentioned them. At least I think. Like, but enough about Bleach. Basically, I'm not gonna do that to Izuku. I'm basically gonna do right by Izuku by, what I think should have been done right by Sailor Scout Saturn, and a lot of other people probably do. Like fans of her, you know, that don't like really how she was treated, and like every single appearance she made, you know, she really wasn't given the love that she deserved. So yeah, Izuku really isn't going to be, you know, refrained from using his powers unless they actually are dangerous powers. Like, I'm not just gonna refrain him from using all of his powers, only if they actually are actually dangerous. Like, powers that I would come up with that would be actually dangerous to use. Because I'm not really all of that informed about, like, Sailor Saturn's, like, move set. So, yeah. I'm basically morphing Sailor Moon with My Hero Academia. Like, it's the world of My Hero Academia, but the whole Sailor Scout thing is indeed a thing. They do indeed exist. It's just in the world of My Hero Academia, not in the world of Sailor Moon, in the world of My Hero Academia. And the first actual example of that to the public is basically Izuku making himself the one and only, or at least to them the one and only Sailor Saturn. Because it was kind of passed down to him through the not only through the crystal but through the actual seed. Because like the Sailor Scouts, they have the whole crystal and seed thing going on with their powers. So basically, that's what happened with Izuku. He had to have both the crystal and the seed in order for everything to go through. And basically, yeah, that did happen. And that's why that whole geyser of light, basically, like, even, like, people that can't sense energy because I don't think that's a normal thing for, like, the people of My Hero Academia, like, even the pro heroes. I don't think that's a normal thing. Like, being able to sense energy. Even those that can't sense energy in this world, in My Hero Academia, even the people that can't sense energy can sense the massive amount of power that's being given off just by the act of transforming, just by the act of the whole Sailor Saturn transformation in general, just gave off this massive wave of power, and it was freaking insane. It's still insane because Izuku is like right in front of both Bakugo and the sludge villain, and the sludge villain is like, the hell, what the hell? I have to get in this kid quick. And Izuku's basically like, yeah, no. You see, sludgy boy, I'm gonna be a hero one day. And because of that, I can't have you around, especially assaulting my friends like that. Right, Bakugo? Right, Kanchan? And Kanchan is just like, "Ugh, ugh, ugh." And, Izuku would just be like, exactly. So, and then just grab the sludge villain with one hand, and just hoist him up into the air with just one hand, just one freaking hand, and then with the other hand would have like the glaive, and then just take the one hand and thrust the sludge villain down, and with the other hand, like, like, stab the glaive upwards, and like an upwards motion, and basically that would impale the sludge villain. And basically after that, with the hand that has the glaive in it, just make a downward motion that would cause it to slam into the ground, and thus sending the sludge villain everywhere. And also freeing Bakugo. But it was a very violent way in which he was freed. Basically, Bakugo is now in the middle of the air, and basically, Izuku decides to, no homo, catch Kacchan while he's falling, just like in the damsel in distress pose, and he'd be like, "No homo, Kacchan, but I had to save your ass." And Izuku would just land on his feet like a badass, and he'd just be like, "So, you probably want me to set you down." And Kacchan would just be like, "Exactly. And also, get the hell away from me." And, Izuku would just be like, "What, so you really don't think I'm the real you? I mean, the real me? Frick. You really don't think I'm the real me? And, about the whole setting you down thing?" And he just plops him down. And he's just like, "Well, if you really don't think I'm the real me, then I guess... you can refer to me as Sailor Saturn." And about that, and he just waves the glaive up in the air, and Kacchan is just like, "Shit, shit, shit." And Izuku's like, he just basically has the glaive up in the air, and he's like, "You really think I'm gonna hurt you, Kacchan?" "Actually, no. This is for something different. Like this." And then he turns it, he just has it laid out, and all of a sudden, like, he's there 1 second, and the next second, just poof, gone. And Kacchan is just like, the fuck? How? How in the hell? 1 second he's quirkless, and the next second he's saving my ass from some D-lister villain that came out of nowhere and surprised me. And he just comes out of nowhere, and whoever this person is comes out of nowhere and just does that. How do you even... And Izuku would just take a honey jar and like stuff the sludge villain in the honey jar. And Izuku would just be like, finally, officers, there's your sludge villain. And like the police would just be like, where's your hero license, kid? And basically, Izuku would be like, oh yeah, about that. And then just wave the blade another time and just be like, poof, like gone again. And, All Might would just be like, holy shit, that kid is fast. And strong, too. With just one wave of his glaive, he was able to do something I don't even think I'd be able to do with that much ease. I mean, I know I could do it, but as easy as it seemed to be for them, I would have to put some effort into my attacks, but they just seem to do it so easy. What exactly is going on? And at the end of the day, Izuku would eventually, the inner version of him would, like, inform him how to, de-transform. Basically, like, how he was channeling all of that energy into, like, fusing the seed and the crystal together. Like the Sailor Scout seed and the Sailor Scout crystal. Basically, fuse them together. Basically, do the exact opposite. Like, defuse them by like reversing the energy output or input or whatever. Basically, do exactly what he was doing before, but like the reverse of it. So basically reverse transformation. And that's exactly what Izuku does. And exactly like the inner Izuku, exactly like the inner version of himself said, it worked. He is no longer in the transformation. But he does feel a lot weaker now. And he's just like, so, inner version of me, why are you even here? And, the inner version of Izuku is just like, I have a name, And another thing, the reason I'm here is to make sure that you don't get yourself killed with all this new power. The power of Sailor Saturn came to you for a reason. It's given more than one name. It's known as Sailor Saturn's power, also known as the power of silence, or the power of destruction. However, I believe that with the right training, you could, give it some decent use. Anyways, and Izuku would just be like, wait, you said you had a name. Well, what is it? And why do you look so much like me? Why are you in my head? Well, you answered that one. Help me, but why do you look so much like me, and what's your name? And basically, the person would just be like, the reason why I look so much like you, I don't even know that myself, and I'm telling the truth whenever I say that. However, as for my name, well, if I tell you, you won't laugh at me, right? And Izuku would be like, why would I laugh? And basically the other one just says, fine, I'll tell you. My name. It's Freddy Dean. And Izuku is just like, Freddy Dean? And the other Izuku is just like, you're gonna laugh, aren't you? And, regular Izuku is just like, hell no. I actually think it's kind of funny. Well, it is kind of funny sounding. We are supposed to be friends, and if I laugh at your name, I don't think that would be a good start. And the inner Izuku, who had just revealed their name to be Freddy Dean, is just like, fine. And they also reveal themselves to have two different forms. The one that looks like Izuku, and their other form is basically a more animalistic one, where they're basically a green cat. Well, more or less, they're only a green cat because Izuku's hair is green. Like, normally, they would probably be a black cat, but seeing as Izuku has green hair and green eyes, not to mention his green eyes, well, it, like, basically Freddy is a green cat instead of a black cat. But, like, normally, if the person didn't have green hair and green eyes, it would probably be a black cat instead. And Izuku is just like, Freddy Dean, you're pretty interesting. And, Freddy Dean would just be like, just try to not be so open with the name with other people. I don't trust that they would be as mentally fortitude as you. And Izuku's like, yeah, I understand. I completely understand where you're coming from. I don't exactly think Deku's the best nickname Kachan could have given me. And I only really call him Kachan because I want to be friends with him. And Freddy's just like, you have so much to learn, Izuku. Yes. You are taking the entrance exams. I don't think they'll have anything against you using a quirk. Seeing as you are the Sailor Scout of Saturn, you could just call your quirk Saturn. And Izuku would be like, you'd be okay with that? And Freddy is just like, as long as you didn't do anything stupid, I'm perfectly fine with you calling your quirk Saturn. And Izuku's like, thanks, Freddy Dean. Thanks a lot. Anyways, I probably do need to get some sleep. And that is where I am ending off part 1 of the freaking what if thing. Like, what if Izuku was Sailor Saturn? I believe part 1. So that is where I'm ending it off. Alonzi and Adas's The Dark Shadow Maverick is OUT out of here.